Welcome to a special Friday edition of Here Comes the Boom. I'm joined by On3 national writer Pete Nakos to talk about Kentucky's efforts in the transfer portal and get his thoughts on some of the guys Kentucky's going after. Pete, thanks for joining me.
What's up, Jacob? How you doing, man?
Doing great. So I want to ask about a few guys that Kentucky's going after and just get your thoughts on where things stand and how you like Kentucky's chances. So I'll start with Yaxel Lenderberg from UAB, number one player in the transfer portal. Things are expected to be moving fast with him. So what can you tell me about where things stand with him?
Yeah, from everything I've heard, and you've reported this as well, it's really shaped up into a battle between Auburn, Michigan, and Kentucky. I'd say right now it seems like it's trending more to be an Auburn and Michigan battle, but we'll see what Kentucky can do to gain some ground. He's obviously a number one player in the portal. It's really hard to get a big who can score as well. So this one's going to be interesting. I don't know who exactly is in the one spot, but one thing for sure right now is that Kentucky's in the mix, but I'm not so sure that they're the front runner in all this.
And there's been a lot of talk on Kentucky's side about the point guard situation. Obviously, you have Lamont Butler out of eligibility, Kirk Kriisa entering the portal. You got two freshmen coming in, but they're going to try and add someone in the transfer portal. And the more we hear, the more it sounds like Pierre seems to be that guy out of Jacksonville State. What can you tell me about his recruitment?
With someone like Pierre, he's getting a lot of looks right now. He's viewed by some as a top 50 NBA draft prospect. I think Kentucky's in the mix. I know Ole Miss and SMU are doing everything that they can to get involved. I think he kind of like Yaxel, he fits that role that Mark Pope needs right now, and adding some guys in the the front court, excuse me.
And then you got a guy that entered the portal just this morning, Princeton guard Xaivian Lee. Kentucky will be involved in his recruitment. So what do you think about the Cats' chances there?
Yeah, really interesting entry. I think that there's going to be a lot of contenders. He's obviously one of the more talented guards that's gone in. He's got a proven track record in the Ivies. Somewhere like UConn wouldn't stun me, right? I think that he has the kind of experience that helped run that offense. And then I also think, though, that Kentucky's going to try to make a push to get involved. So things are really early on here. So those two schools I just mentioned are maybe just some like schools to know, not exactly front runners, but he's going to have a ton of suitors, and what he's done the last couple of years at Princeton is definitely going to make him one of the more attractive options in the portal.
Then the last guy I want to ask about is Robert Morris forward Alvaro Falgares. You just put out an intel piece on him, or a predictions piece, I should say, over on On3. So What can you tell me about what's going on over there?
I know Kentucky only has one commitment at the moment out of the transfer portal. I think that they're on their way to securing a second one. I think that where they sit right now with the Horizon Player of the Year is in a good spot. He can score, which is a big thing, but he also would help add to that front court for Kentucky. And I really like where the Wildcats sit right now from everything that I've heard.
And Pete, before I let you go, I know Kentucky fans, one commitment right now in the transfer portal. Fans are a little tense, a little on edge. What can you say to Kentucky fans about what you've seen from Kentucky in the portal so far, and maybe ease their concerns a little bit?
I'm not exactly the crystal ball expert, so by no means do I know exactly when the next commitment's coming. But from everything that I've heard from sources in recent weeks, I think Kentucky has everything it needs to be successful in the transfer portal. And I think that Mark Pope is just evaluating his options and making sure that the guys he brings in fits what he needs to be successful in 25, 26. And he's obviously coming off a season where he's had a ton of success in year one, with an interesting group that was kind of cobbled together through the portal, kind of at the last minute when he was hired. So I'd say give him time. I'd say that there's a lot of moving pieces right now, and we're really not going to see the portal in its full force until the Final Four ends.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for coming on today. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and glad you were able to make it on the show.
You bet. Thanks so much, Jacob.